All right, so it's Thursday, basically my Sunday, and it's the beginning of the month, so technically I could probably go over and make a little bit of money today. But I've set this whole little area up as like a little bookshelf. It's got all my navigation stuff in there. Down in here is all the documentation for everything in the book or in the boat. The engine type, the when maintenance has been done, that kind of stuff. The right side, this side over here, is mostly like paperwork and that sort of stuff. Hang on here. But what I did last year was I installed this diesel heater, which it's only 48 degrees outside right now, and it's actually kind of warmed up. So my diesel heater is currently running. I want to have this venting done a little differently, but with with where I placed it here, I haven't really figured out how to get the ducting to run through the boat, through this cabinet down here under the TV, and then up towards the V-berth in the front. But then I bought this chest, and it's here, and it's pretty freaking amazing. I'm really quite happy with it. It's way bigger. It's exactly the size the guy measured and had in the pictures, but it's way bigger in my opinion. So this cabinet is now empty, and this will be filled up with all of my charts when I go up and get them. And it's starting to rain again. But now this thing's got all of my stuff in it inside, and so I just slid it as far in there as I could get it for now, because that's basically where it's going to go. There's an hour meter for the old engine right here, our nautical mile meter, I guess. It doesn't work. It's such old tech. It just is what it is. But if you look here, you can see there's a wall right here. I think I'm just going to cut this right off to the bottom. That wood down there is so thin that really you put any weight on anything in here and it feels like it's going to fall through. It's barely attached up on this end. There's a huge gap in the wall right here. I put this in here last year because I couldn't really figure out exactly where I wanted to put it. And this exhaust is stretched pretty hard. It's coated in a fiberglass mesh cloth tube that keeps the heat from burning anything around it, and then it goes out of the boat right there. The exhaust does. This little tube down here has a filter on it right down there, and that's sucking in the gas that's combusted with the diesel, and then all of the exhaust goes down this pipe and outside, and that's all steel, stainless steel, and sealed, and it's glued on this end and on that end. So there's no exhaust coming in at all. The air that's heated is sucked in right here and blown out through one of these four vents. And I wish I'd have gotten the one that's just one solid pipe, but what you wish you had done isn't necessarily what you did. This is the controller for my solar system, and it's the heater does run on that. But once the heater started, once the glow plug is not being used, the only thing that this is actually running is a small fan, and the switching of the fuel and all that might be a little bit of an actuator that might use a teeny bit of electricity, but it'll run a day and a half on a car battery that's not running anything. It'll run, actually a day and a half was the refrigerator in the Suburban. This thing would probably run for a week because it just barely uses any electricity at all. But so here's what I think is going to happen. First off, the chest is sitting on top of like 5 inches of foam. That 5 inches of foam is holding it up about that 5 inches. So if I were to set it on the hard material underneath this, this part right here, it would be much lower, like down here, and I don't want it that low. It's about 5 inches, 6 inches from the hull back here at the bottom because the hull is starting to bow in as you get down there. So what my thought is at this point, because this pipe is so long, I would rather it weren't so long and I didn't have it right here. So I'm going to cut that whole shelf out right there. I'm going to take this shelf that I put in, it's made out of an old chair, out. I'll build a box down there at the bottom that will reach all the way down to this and run, you know, parallel to the mattress, basically, back to here. And then I'll put the heater on the top of it back here. So this will slide all the way up against the hull, but it'll be about where it is now on a box. The heater will start blowing air out this way into the box underneath it, which then I can vent with a piece of PVC across here, which, let me get down here. I stick all my bags down in here, so it'll go across right down here on a PVC pipe, which will feed through here and through into here, and then I can have my vents all the way down. It solves multiple problems, and even though right now it kind of looks like the berth is completely eaten up by it, instead of it being nearly a double berth, it's going to be a single almost. Right now it's about a single. This will move over about 6 inches, you know, like back to here. So this will be at a little skinnier at the top than it used to be, but it'll put a little, you know, shelf you can put your own private stuff on if you're in this berth, towards the back, similar to that thing. And when you sit down at the navigation station, you can just turn, you know, to the side and open up the chest to get all the stuff that's in it out, which, as I go through and get projects done and that sort of stuff, and tools and zip ties and, you know, whatever else I have wears out or runs out, stuff like this will end up on the top, you know. So like the snatch block or a car, or I've got these two D cars up here, that stuff can be put on the top of this inside. And yep, so that's what we're going to do. I'm gonna have to start working on that wall pretty soon, because I'm going to build that cabinet. I've been holding off on hauling out or working on the cabinet because it keeps being kind of nasty and rainy. Right now it's beautiful out, but it's cold. It is, you know, for San Francisco anyway. See you guys. And I'll tell you, probably about the best 28 bucks I ever spent on something.